So what do you think are the 10 most overrated things in zombies? Of course, feel free to tell me down in the comments what they are for you, but today I'm going to be sharing with you guys what I think they are. And to be clear here, when I say overrated things, I mean out of anything. This could be a whole game, a whole map, something as small as a side Easter egg, a regular gun, wonder weapon, anything like that. It could be so many different things, and feel free to leave your thoughts also, like I already said. Either way, this is kind of the counterpart to a video that I said the most underrated things. Just kind of have to bash things too, because you can never just do one side, you have to do it both ways. But either way, let's not waste any more time and get into what I think are the 10 most overrated things in Call of Duty Zombies. How about we start off with an entire map, that of course being 9. This map is a mid map. Oh my gosh, people act like it's okay. Like, people legit be telling me that 9 is A or even worse S tier map, and I'm just like, why? Why would you say that? Why are you lying to your own self? And I don't get it, because the only good thing about this map is the early game. But anything past that is not fun. Like, if you look at the mid to late game, it is tragic. Like, the amount of different zombie types you have to deal with, the tigers, the 4 different catalysts, the brawlers, the gladiators, and the freaking blightfathers. Like, what are we doing here? Why am I having to deal with multiple gladiators and multiple brawlers every freaking round? Like, people complain about Dead of Night's vampires, but 9 is up there with it. It is so annoying playing anything past round 25 on this map. And that's not it, because there's another major problem with this map, and that's the Easter egg. Like, it's actually terrible. Like, the big problem with it is the fact that you can't freaking do the Easter egg till round 16. What's the point of that? I'm getting on to do an Easter egg, not 16 rounds, then the Easter egg. Makes no sense at all. And don't even get me started on that freaking raw step. Oh my gosh, it is one of the worst steps in Zombies history, and I don't know. I'm going to stop there, though. There are so many things I can say about this map, but I'm just going to stop myself there and say, yes, it is overrated. So this one's going to hurt me to say, but an overrated wonder weapon is sadly the Wunderwaffe DG2. Yes, it actually is not that great, and I think to really prove this is just by saying 2 things. One, the Wunderwaffe DG2 does not kill an entire horde. It just doesn't do that, which is unfortunate. And 2, dead wire at points was literally better than the DG2. And if that already doesn't just say, oh yeah, maybe the DG2 isn't that great already, I don't really know what is. But I will say, in the Wunderwaffe defense, I do think the reason why it isn't as good is because it was originally released when there was only 24 zombies per round. But of course, as time went on, Treyarch changed that, and more zombies spawn in a horde and more zombies spawn in a round than 24. And because of that, I feel like the Wunderwaffe just kind of fell off because of those changes. So let's bring in some perks, and there's a couple I could have chose here, but I'm going to go with PhD Flopper. And my reason for this, and when I say PhD Flopper, I just mean flopper, not slider of any kind. We're talking about flopper here. The reason I think flopper isn't great, like, it's fun, don't get me wrong, it's a really fun perk. I absolutely loved running Mustang and Selling, just shooting up the place and not dying because of splash damage. That's so freaking fun. But the problem with this is that most of the time it's useless, because most guns don't have splash damage. I mean, sure, it'll still protect you from fall damage, and you still do the little flop thing, and that's great, but the main selling point of this perk is to protect you from splash damage, and most guns don't do that. And even the guns that do splash damage, they aren't really that great. I mean, Mustang and Sally falls off pretty early, the ray gun falls off pretty early. We already said about the DG2, and probably the best one is maybe the Scavenger, but the Scavenger doesn't kill past like round 50 some, and because of that, I feel like what was really holding this perk back was that it didn't really have a great gun to pair it with to really break the game. And maybe that's a good thing, I don't know. Okay, now we gotta go on a little streak of trying not to get canceled by the zombies community, but how about we talk about an overrated song being 115. Yeah, I just said that. And let me say this right away. Obviously, subjective music stuff, like, you know what I'm saying. Like, everyone said it is music is subjective, who cares about that? But don't get me wrong, there are some points in this song that this song absolutely slaps. I like, oh my gosh, this is why I like Zombies music. But then there's moments like this. I get some people like to be yelled at when they listen to their music. There's a whole genre for it. I get that. But personally, I choose to have my hearing past the age of, 30. And if you don't want to have your hearing past the age of 30, that's great. I support you 100%. But personally, just not for me. How about this one? Let's talk about some overrated characters. And scared to say this. Ultimus? Yeah, Ultimus. I think they're a little bit overrated, a lot of it even. And it's really sad when you compare Ultimus to Primus, and how some people claim that Ultimus is better than Primus. Makes me want to not play zombies ever again, because that is just false in every imaginable way. Like, how? Why would you say? You literally just have the same characters, except they're dumb and a Nazi. Like, that's not a great combo, to have dumb people and a Nazi compared to not Nazi Richtofen and a bunch of cool guys. Takio actually does stuff besides being, a little racist stereotype. It's not only that, honestly, because there was a point where I was really into zombies quotes. I would listen to all the quotes from every character on every map. I was having a blast. And then I thought, hey, wait, let's go back to those old maps to listen to those old quotes. And oh my gosh, most of them are terrible. Like, sure, I'll get a little haha every now and then, but oh my gosh, most of them are just the same joke except slightly different every map, and it's just like, oh my gosh, can't laugh at this anymore. This is so dumb. And I don't know, man. I really don't get Ultimus, if I'm being completely honest. I feel like when I wrote these down, I was trying to get canceled, but I don't know. But anyways, next one. How about a game feature? The OG perk system was actually overrated. Yes, I said it. In fact, it was overrated and already out of date by BO3, but the only reason people weren't raging about it was because of the Gobblegums. Gobblegum saved the OG perk system, made people think it was better than it actually was. But yes, what can I say about the OG perk system that hasn't been said? It had a lot of crutches, especially on solo. 3 or even your 4 perks were decided before you even loaded in. You're always getting quick revive, you're always getting jug, you're always getting double tap, and you're always getting speed cola, right? Like, sometimes you don't have to get double tap, which is fine. Sometimes you don't gotta get speed cola, and you can swap that out with something. Like, there's rare occasions like that, but for the most part, you're almost always using the exact same 4 perks, or at least the same 3 perks every single game, and that was just the worst, honestly. And don't get me wrong, Black Ops 4 system was not the answer. That just had the same problem with only having 4 perks, except a little bit worse, and it was just worse, actually a lot bit worse. But just because the BO4 system was terrible does not mean that the OG perk system was great, because it wasn't. Now, before we get into this next one, I want you guys to believe me when I say what I'm about to say, but I'm not saying these things just because I want to get canceled by the zombies community and, blacklist me from ever making zombies videos again. Like, I'm honestly not going for that. I honestly believe these. So with that said, Black Ops 1 Zombies is overrated. It is. It is. And I just don't really get it. Like, don't get me wrong. I respect the hell out of Black Ops 1. Like, it did so much for zombies. It brought it into the mainstream. It had, like, some okay maps along the way. And it was there. It did a lot for the zombies. It brought in main Easter eggs. I like main Easter eggs. I love that stuff. So, shout out to Black Ops 1 for that. But I don't really have that much fun playing Black Ops 1 maps. Like, when I load into Kino, I kill zombies for a bit, and I'm like, what else do I do? Don't get me wrong, I love going for high rounds as much as the next guy, but I need something more than that. And then even worse, 5. Like, what am I supposed to do on 5, honestly? Like, for some people to say that this isn't a bottom feeder map, it just blows my mind till this day. But regardless, like, what am I supposed to do on the map, honestly? It has one of the worst wonder weapons of all time, one of the worst layouts of all time. It's just terrible in so many ways. And sure, it starts getting better as time goes on for more options for how you could play zombies, but at the end of the day, it just isn't on the level of so many zombies games that came up after it, especially Black Ops 3. Like, when I hear people say Black Ops 1 was better than Black Ops 3, I'm just like, what? And I just didn't make that up to make my point here. Like, legit, there are some big zombie YouTubers and people in my comments who tell me that, and I'm sure you'll find someone in this comment section, maybe, I don't know. Now, since I've been picking on Black Ops 1 for so many of these things so far, I think I should, kind of bring it back with something I really like. And how about we bring in Mob of the Dead into this? And not the map, because that's still the best map of all time. But I do have to admit that the main Easter egg is a little bit, even maybe a lot of bit, overrated. It's really like, what? It's like, for real, it's just go to Pack-a-Punch 3 times. And sure, there's the number step, there's get the Blundergat, and I always forget if you actually have to get this golden spork or not. Like, I always do it, so I'd never know if that's actually a step. Regardless, though, like, that's just, I don't know how to say it. Not a main Easter egg. Like, you compare that to even main Easter eggs that are out at the same time, Buried, Die Rise, and even Transit a little bit. Like, they were more of, like, puzzles, like, we're used to for main Easter eggs, where you know, going to pack a punch 3 times. I don't know why we even consider that a main Easter egg. Let's bring in some regular guns into this conversation, and what I mean by regular guns is just like ARs, SMGs, LMGs, and stuff like that. And there's a lot of guns that we could go with here, and I feel like I'm going with the wrong one here, but I'm still going to say it anyways, and that's the MG08 from Origins, because this gun, I know so many casual players still to this day think that this gun is actually really good, where as hardcore players, I think most of them recognize that this gun is it's like not really that good. And the problem with this gun is that it looks really powerful and it feels like it should be really powerful. I mean, when you use it, your movement speed is so much slower, the reload speed takes forever, and it even takes forever to aim down sights, and you would think with all of these movement nerfs that it's going to be really powerful. But then you actually look at the damage that this gun deals, and it's literally just slightly worse than the Hammer, which is another LMG in BO2. And that's kind of what this gun is. It's just a worse version of the Hammer. The Hammer has slightly more damage, has better movement speed, has better reload speed, and even has better aim down sight speed. And because of all this gun is just really not what it should be. It should be better, but it's just not.